Well, so Wayne and Kojo is also joining us. Kojo, how are you?
Happy Independence Day to you both.
Happy Independence Day to you as well.
Happy 62. You're 62.
I am.
62 years of independence.
Yeah, you're
Well,
62
I
too.
look good for my age, right?
That's a good one. At 62 and you still look good. That won't be bad.
The people who are 62 who look really cool.
Yeah.
Is Ghana one of them?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, why people?
I don't think so.
Independence Square looks nice. The Freedom Arch is kind of cute. What again? Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. It be.
Oh, in terms of the...
Is that we are talking about looks? When you mentioned 62-year-olds who look
But that's
good,
a crap.
we were talking about their looks, weren't you?
But that's a crap. But that's a crap.
Kakum National Park.
You should tell us about Kakum.
Blee Falls.
Kakum, the road to Kakum is terrible.
Apajato. Oh,
Yes.
you people.
Yeah.
What
are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
That's like saying you are good looking, but your blood veins are a bit.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Aha, that one, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well.
We're good looking.
But it's
but the fundamentals, no, you know?
Are we looking good?
It is the fundamentals.
The fundamentals are exposing
I think it's the
us.
face. The rest of the body, you get to find out it's terrible. We're not even looking good.
Oh, you can share what you're doing this holiday with us a bit later on. Yesterday was the Independence concert at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Were you there? If you were, we want to hear. But if you weren't, we'll tell you what you missed. All coming up in Showbiz. But let's do the newspapers.
Okay, so I want to point out something.
Yep.
It looks like all the papers came double.
Oh, it means that we've taken...
Double. What's going on with double?
It was a double day yesterday.
Double.
It was a double day yesterday.
I don't know
but I
what
can
it
explain
means.
this double.
Oh, there's an explanation. Yeah, I thought we were trying to be ironic, you know.
Double appeared yesterday.
Yeah, double finally did appear yesterday, huh?
And what an appearance it
Yes.
was. Mama B and I watched it together. We were scribbling notes furiously. But every now and then we lifted our heads and went like... It was something to behold.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
I did. I listened and watched at the same time because I was watching on YouTube and sometimes the link will go off. So I got saved always by the radio on the phone.
Yeah.
So
the commissioners, I think each time they sit, we kind of appreciate more what they individually bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I loved them absolutely yesterday. Yeah.
I love the interpreter too. I mean, she was having a heck of a time.
Jennifer Gasso?
Is that her name?
Yes.
I'm told she's a lawyer, so
yes,
at least
she's not an interpreter.
Yes.
She was not supposed to be in that place.
She had to step up. Yeah, she had to step up.
But she did
and
well.
help out.
But the commission itself worked up its game if they're going to bring an interpreter next time.
I think the commission itself, for the good work, all the good work they've done so far, there's still some missing points about the creative side, showing the videos and how it could be done very well in such a way. Because if it's a commission, it means that they may have been provided with the right logistics and the budget for it. And so they have to employ the right skills in the people to give them good feed. Because the look and feel and everything about what you do is also important. There's no point putting together good people, coming to sit down, good furniture, and then at the end of the day, some aspect of the things you want to portray to the public just doesn't come out.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't even have described it as the creative side. I would have said the technical side, you know, because creative seems like you can take it or leave it. We just want the facts. But actually, the facts need to be presented properly. And that's where I agree with Roland, that there needs to be a proper technical setup to air the videos properly, be able to pick the right shots, freeze frame them, in a way that is visible and can be used as evidence, because that is equivalent to a court, is it not? So we need to be able to get that sort of technical accuracy that Roland is talking about. And yes, I would say that is perhaps the criticism that I would also have for their work. But they have been fantastic in terms of probing and getting to what we all desire to know. about those events.
Yesterday, we discovered a few things from the IGP. The fact that he went there last Sunday. Not that we expected. Not that we expected. I mean, it really doesn't matter if he went there or not. But the fact that the investigation seemed to have stalled is the thing, you know. But the good thing is he had a certain interim report that we didn't know they did. But let's go into the newspapers. We'll mix all of that up. And then I don't know, I kind of like, I had huge expectations of Double. We're all looking forward to his appearance. So we can remind you of some of the things he shared with the entire nation yesterday as we go on. But let's do the newspapers. I've got the Daily Graphic newspaper. Shall I start?
Yes, I think you should.
Okay. Aka Energy finds more oil in Ghana. That's good news. Law students petition parliaments over mass failure. Security breaches at Ayawaso West Wogo. No coordination, according to the IGP. And then let's look at the back page of the paper. Motorists plying Kanisho Doko Road advised to take alternative routes. Yesterday, Maxwell Agbagba was there for us because we know that there is a drainage under construction there. NGO donates diabetes care product to La Hospital. Another headline on the back page of the paper, center spread. Reflects on your life's contribution to national development this Lent. That's an advice coming from the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference. Also, Aviation Minister performed sword cutting ceremony at KIA for GCAA office complex apron expansion. That's a mouthful. Okay, that's it for the graphic.
You know, talking about looking good at 62, the IGP, David Asante Apietu, is 62. He was born about 5 months after independence in August 1957.
Okay, that's an independent child.
Yes, he looks great at 62, doesn't he? In fact, he would. This man would pass for 40, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he looks great.
Are you auctioning the man?
He said he would be 62?
Oh, no, I'm sure.
Are you auctioning the man, Kojo? The way you say it and the way you lift the paper again and again and again.
Oh, no. Just trying to illustrate my point.
Oh, you know, yesterday, the last thing he ended with was the campaign. They've got a campaign to end, we put it, end militia groups now. They've started with banners.
Yes.
They started with banners, and the Pentecostal Council is giving it support. He was urging CSOs to come on board. Yeah. It's a good thing. But, you know, banners alone right now, I think they have to quickly up it.
Yes, I mean, they are the police. So all of our campaigns are actually directed in some way at them to take action. So if they are also doing a campaign and their campaign doesn't include action, there might be a missing link. So yes, I agree with you. Theirs should be more about taking action. Their campaign should be more about taking action, because that's what we are asking them to do.
Yeah. And that yesterday the question was put, the tough talk. I mean, where is the action? You know, what else are you doing? You are edging the political parties, but Charlie, you are the police. We need you to act.
All right, well, I'll do the Ghanaian Times quickly. NDC and NPP must address vigilantism alone. Again, I wouldn't call it vigilantism, but the Ghanaian Times does. And the banner headline continues, President insists in response to NDC letter. And then Parliament approves State of the Nation address. Let's fight vigilantism, IGP urges Ghanaians, and mortuary workers embark on strike. It looks a bit like this morning, the Ghanaian Times. On the back page, construction of new apron for KIA underway. We heard about this in the news yesterday. There's going to be an office for the airport company and then extra car parking space. Maternal mortality increases in Ashanti. Not what you want to hear, is it? But especially not with the efforts that JoyNews and the First Lady have made with the mother and baby unit and so forth. You really don't want to hear that mothers are dying in childbirth, but that is the case according to the Ghanaian Times.
Well, let's do the Daily Guide. It has on the front page, that's how it looks like this morning. And it reads, we don't need thugs to win elections. President fires NDC. The story is on page 3 of the paper. And we have mortuary workers strike. SWAT patrol problematic, says IGP SWAT. Okay, SWAT patrol problematic, says IGP. You have an attached picture of the IGP, David Asantia P2. NDC vigilante members, family attack, suspect lawyer. It took place in Kumasi. 47 foreigners arrested for Galamsey. Also on page 6 of the paper. On the back page, Herbert Mensah. There's a back page. Okay, so let me get to read the stories. Herbert Mensah gets top Africa rugby job, and Hearts fans warn Charles Taylor. Ex-Kotoko skipper wrapped players before Nkana game, and Ado wins 1-set knockout tourney. Center spread is a news one pull out. That's how it looks like. And it says, stop relying on fake pastors. Okay, stop relying on fake pastors. A story attributed to Stoneboy. So it's a Stoneboy telling Ghanaians. R2B's others thrill thousands at Rexona Colathon. But it's also a story. MTN Ghana registered strong performance. They had over 1 billion cedis in profits just for 2018 alone. Shows how big they are. They can actually buy or set up 2.5 banks in Ghana, commercial banks. Over 1 billion Ghana cedis. So I'll wait for the newspapers. Okay, we have to do the daily graphic.
We do. We've already done that.
Okay.
Okay, so look, what should we talk about? There's quite a bit going on.
Let's talk about the because we started with the commission, or because you ended with the president, whichever way.
Let's do commission, then we'll do the president's letter. So yesterday, I mean, for me, the thing about Double's testimony about what happened on the day, I'm not even going to talk about the Sam George bit yet, but about his testimony about what happened on the day, it didn't clarify things. It made things murkier.
Was he supposed to clarify? He was supposed to give
Shall
us
we hear a
testimony?
bit of him?
Yeah, I think so. Now
Okay.
Put in.
All right, so here we go with... yesterday he corrected... there's no Nana in his name. It's Brights Ernests Akomia. Here we go. Mr. Double.
What took you to the area of the incident?
Then put in a do call sa area ni muhonum.
The pacho send every kakaya no. Tamwa na Mr. Azugun more directed traffic no. Wama obia nsi form. Yeah, and you're watching the na etetika nim. Enti
When Mr. Azugu was directing the traffic, nobody got down from the car.
Enti be akra no na yehu motorbikes nkrofo so mi no ne mensa motorbikes be 10 to 15.
So whilst we were in the car, we saw about 15 motorbikes coming towards our direction.
And cars 3 idiachi.
And there were 3 cars behind.
Timoto car ni drove baby police for no Mr. Zugun one. And na ejina na omo wachi ni sisi.
So when they got to where Mr. Azugu was, they stopped and then they got down.
And na riders na kita moto no omo riding moto no fa school na energy area.
So the riders went behind the school.
Enti me ho bi me ho say na Mr. Zugu ne omo din komo ase omo din komo yensi form.
So I saw Mr. Azugu interacting with them, but we didn't get down from the vehicle.
Nti okay nem na take gunshot.
So whilst we were in the car, we heard a gunshot.
And I'm Mr. Ezugu Kase, Yinti from na Yankoshe, yes, sir.
So Mr. Zugu told us to get down and go and investigate.
Nti yekodru hono na enipa ne doso pa.
So when we got there was a large crowd.
Ana motorbikes and so go. Ana 3 cars, 3 pickups.
So the motorbikes were there and there were 3 pickups.
Na pickups 3 ne dio oma enipa titima ayama nkaibetu.
There were people in the pickups.
Nti idru hono ni bisa se hwan na tutu no obia mwaye.
So when we got there, we asked who gave the warning shot, but nobody answered.
Na efre Mr. Zugu se enipa na ho no omodoso. Nti onfa men no emra.
So when we got there, we told Mr. Azugu that the people were a lot, so that he should bring more people.
Nti ansan.
So that's double.
Yeah.
Bread
It was
double.
quite a long narration, yeah, which started with his personal background. The fact that...
Sorry, I'll let you finish. I was only going to highlight the contradictions, so I'll let you finish about the background.
Oh, it was just because it's a SWAT at national security. Again, you know, the standards, I think the standards, what we seek to see. I mean, national security is the Ogboro. You get what I mean? So if you've seen police and you see national security, you think higher. I didn't think that somebody with 3 weeks training from selling mobile phones would be qualified enough to join a SWAT team at national security. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
And he said he heard that they were recruiting, so he sent in an application. It's something that I thought they would question a bit further. Where did he hear that they were recruiting? Was there an advert in the papers? Does national security advertise when they are recruiting? How did he learn about the vacancy? What application did he send in? Did he fill a form? Did he fill it himself? Did he get somebody to fill it for him because he obviously has some difficulty with the English language? When he went to the interview, what sort of questions was he asked? How many other people did he see at that interview, process?
You need Colonel Opoku.
So,
I see the one who recruited.
He's the director of operations.
He may have come even after Dobo was recruited. But it's important. Somebody needs to explain to us the process by which we pick our intelligence officers, because these people are supposed to come and work for us.
Yeah. Somebody said something yesterday that I was thinking about. You don't necessarily need people who speak English to pick intelligence.
But you see, then the job they would do would not be intelligence officer. Perhaps they would be informant, which is an important job as well. So you would be somebody who, because of your local knowledge or because of some special skills that you have, you are able to either infiltrate groups and get information, or perhaps you can observe and report because of that intelligence and knowledge that you have. You wouldn't necessarily be an intelligence officer. I don't know if that would be the same job title. But even if that's the case, it is still important for us to understand the process by which he was recruited.
I agree.
And he says that he heard they were recruiting and he went there. So, it's
especially
important.
because Colonel Opoku also assured us that these guys had gone through training.
Yes.
They'd given them training.
And that they didn't carry weapons.
Exactly.
So that brings me to the contradictions from his testimony. The first one is obviously the fact that he says he didn't fire a gun. First, he said he didn't carry a gun.
He went to borrow.
Then later, he said he didn't fire his weapon. So someone asked him, but you said you didn't carry a gun, so what weapon are you talking about? Then he said, oh, I borrowed a gun from the driver. And again, this is very curious. He says he told Azugu, the commander, that I'm taking this gun to go and see what's happening over there. Azugu has testified earlier that none of the operatives were armed. He said this categorically. Yet now we are hearing from one of the operatives that they told him, I'm taking somebody else's gun.
To go and shake them small.
Thank you. Now you see, this is important because it shows that there is no accountability when it comes to the use of firearms by our armed officers who are working on our behalf. Look, in any other place, you account for every bullet you fire.
I think here too.
Maybe the police will do, but not national security operatives, as we've seen these people themselves say.
Yeah, but still, the police officer who was the driver who took an AK-47 there should account.
Okay, but the police officer, remember, has been transformed as he was taken to national security.
So now
because
he doesn't know how to do his job.
Because the IGP himself said it yesterday. He can't even get his own men that he loaned to national security to ask them questions.
What has that got to do with procedure, though? Procedure is procedure. So if
it was that easy, like he won't say that he's written twice to get his own men to question.
That's another issue, actually. But that's not what I'm referring to.
I am just linking it.
I don't know if there's a link, because procedure is procedure. So
but is the procedure working?
If you have been given a firearm by the government of Ghana, there is a procedure. That's how it works. Otherwise, there'd be no accountability. You could be working for government as a security officer, take a weapon, go and perform armed robberies with it, and come back, and nobody will be able to account. The fact that you've been entrusted with a weapon, it comes with a certain responsibility and certain procedures.
So I see you're talking about what should be. But I'm just saying, from all the narration, I mean, there's no accountability. That's it.
Yeah, I guess then we're saying the same thing. Yeah. Because the point I was trying to make is that elsewhere, you would be made to account for every bullet that leaves your rifle. But in this case, you can even lend your rifle to somebody who's not authorized to have a weapon. You can lend your rifle to him and tell him to take, and allow him to take it to a place where there are unarmed civilians, and according to some judge, fire the weapon. Okay, so now we have this contradiction of whether he fired his weapon or not. We have this contradiction of the fact that
he was allowed to even use a gun.
Thank you. Then we also have details of how many shots were fired by the SWAT team. According to Azugu, he ordered 6 warning shots to be fired. He said he told one person to fire 3, another to fire 2, and the last one to fire 1. According to Double, only 1 warning shot was ordered, and only 1 warning shot was fired.
By their team?
By their team.
Yeah.
Azugu says 6, he says 1. Okay, so now...
And then he had 2 others.
3 others, he said, from the crowd. You were there, so that would make 4 shots.
Well, I was not at the venue, the point in time where the incident happened, in terms of have been in front of the house of the candidates.
So you didn't hear shots?
But the shots ahead were many. I think there will be over 40.
Let me ask you.
Because the reason why I keep saying that is the incident happened between 15 to 20 minutes. And I keep saying that if 6 shots were fired, it means that approximately you have to do a division of 15 to 20.
Well, that is if they are claiming they fired the shots evenly over the period.
And you have to wait for 5-6 minutes for another one to be fired. But that's not what happened. They kept firing in front of the house, and when they came to the park, they were still firing. And all the spate of time was between 15 to 20 minutes.
When they came to the park, who was firing?
All of them.
Was there a difference?
As in the SWAT team.
The SWAT team.
Wait,
all of them were fired.
Was
both
there
the police
a difference
and there was
in
a military
the sound
officer
of gun? Because sound came up yesterday. Was there a difference in the sound?
Because
Double says theirs sounded heavier than the other.
I couldn't have identified whose from whose gun the shots were coming from and
doubt,
the decibel of the sounds. Because what I did know was that everybody was frightened. Most of the journalists had run away, and many of the people who were being accosted and brutalized were there not knowing where to go because they were crowded out at the end of the day.
I doubt that with his 3 weeks experience of weapons, his 12 years experience of mobile phones, and his 5 years experience of Togo,
but he's
he'll
been
be able
there
to
for
tell us.
He's been there for 2 years.
He'll be able to tell us which gun sounds. And he has only been on 2 operations.
Yes, sir. Interesting, right?
He has only been on 2 operations over the 2-year period.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he's been at the airport.
You know, yesterday,
if you do
allowing people to come through VVIP.
If you do a cursory look at what the posts and the comments have been on mainstream and social media, there seems to be this perception that if you appeared before a certain national body or anybody at all and you're speaking a local language, it means that you're uneducated.
No,
and I think we
no,
have
that's not.
In fact, he
right.
even referred to his education. He has been educated.
Yeah, sure.
He's been to school to a level.
And two, we would need the heads of those various security outfits to come and tell us what sort of criteria is used to do recruitment into those services, so that we have a certain idea about maybe the body structure, a type of temperament the person will have, the educational qualification of the person. That even puts issues into perspective for many of the times that we're discussing this. Because, I mean, look, we've had people who have appeared before the commission. Is it Mr. Tete or the one who appeared a day before him, 3 days ago? Mr. Tego.
Aite Tego.
Who has come to say he could identify some of the men who were in national
Double
security.
could also identify some of the NDC guys.
And on the day, if you speak to some of the people out there who said they were living in the area, and because they lived as NPP and NDC, they could identify some of them. And just like Double had said, all of them knew who was with NDC, who was not with NDC. And so if you go take somebody who is known to be a known party person to be drafted into national security for an operation like that and could be easily identified, then that becomes problematic. Then it could be that they would not be respected as people who have been drafted or transitioned into national security, and their orders could not be taken by the people. And we have to put that into perspective.
By their deeds, ye shall know them, right?
Anyway,
so apart from the politics, if you gave your background, your 3 weeks training, and the things that you are able to do after the 3 weeks, we will know you. We don't even have to associate the politics.
Anyway, so that's actually one of the other contradictions I was going to talk about. The fact that he says that, well, he used to be a polling station chairman.
For Adenta.
Yes, for Adenta. Now, that is interesting because the commission, in fact, Professor Mensah-Bonsu, as usual, sought to probe his background. And this claim that he knew 5 of the NDC people on the scene and said that they were part of the NDC's, what's it called, task force, security task force. He named 5 of them and said he knew them. How did you know them? Oh, I met them. And each time they asked him that question, he talked about meeting them at a different place. First time he said, I met them at a rally. Second time, I met them at the airport. Third time, I meet them at events.
Around.
And then they probed further and he said, well, because I am NPP, I have an interest in NDC events. So I go there. Now, you have to think about it. Even if you and I, journalists, who have an interest in an NDC event, go there, do we find out the names of their security men? Do we?
You may not find, but you find people who are familiar. There are people
who... I mean, is it...
Do you get him?
No. Is it part of what you would go there for?
Definitely.
To go and find out the name and memorize those names to the point where if you see them again, you are able to recognize them and note their names. So it is more likely that he was going to these events to gather intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
That's the only purpose.
But would an ordinary NPP member do that?
No.
A polling station chairman.
Well, interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Charlie,
I don't know where we go from here.
Double has given us a lot to think about.
Even the IGP's comments, I am so glad that we're doing the commission and we're not doing the police, because even inviting people, your own people that you've loaned to national security, to ask them questions about what happened that day. You can't get them. So imagine CID was investigating this alone. There was no commission. Like, who would submit themselves to CID? That CID ask me questions and take me to court.
Meanwhile, if it was you or I suspected of committing a crime,
a small fish,
they would have picked us up by now. So I don't understand. Is it that they've lost the power of arrest?
So seriously, how is their investigation going?
Is it going? Who have they questioned? They have been writing letters to get access to the suspects, because this investigation is based on reports, right, from the NDC, that our man has been slapped and our people have been shot at. Okay. So the suspects are these operatives and police who are part of this SWAT team. Those are the suspects. And so far, you haven't interviewed any of them, because you have been writing letters.
And these are people you have administrative control over.
Yeah.
But you can't,
you can't
even get them.
You pay their salaries.
Charlie.
I think it's because of the way they've worked. And I think after this commission and the report that will be issued subsequently, these procedures need to change. Because if you have somebody who is on a detour or has been attached to or seconded to an agency, there should be some rudiments, some standard operating procedures by which they could have some sort of control based on the actions that they may undertake. Look, all of us have met people in town who claim they are national security, either police or civilian personnel. And the way they act, using the name or in the name of national security, has always been untoward. And if you don't stand your ground many of the times, the only thing that saves you is that maybe they know that you're a journalist or something of the sort. But I shudder to think what will happen to ordinary people when they meet such people.
Oh, listen, it's happened to an ordinary person. He insisted. I mean, you can't hit my car and tell me you're national security, so what? He didn't want to go to the police. The police said, no, we're going to impound your vehicle until you fix the other person's vehicle for him, then we'll release it.
You see,
so if ordinary persons insist, I have seen it happen. This was just last month.
You see, the thing is, all these narrations we're saying about the behavior and the trends or the patterns of these personnel, so-called, who are seconded or are with national security, they are not experienced by the politicians who appoint them there. And they will never do that to any politician who is in the opposition party, if that person is prominent.
They might slap.
Well, for this one.
Roland.
So all these narrations, they don't know what we're talking about. But ordinarily, if you're a civilian, you get to encounter them, and it's not good.
But for me, I don't even understand why we are talking about administrative procedures when someone is seconded. Arrest them.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's more complicated than that. If they are suspects,
if the administrative procedures
them.
Are not clarified and seem to be absent, then that's a problem. Because it means that there's nothing there to guide anybody.
Criminal investigation ongoing.
And I have invited you to come forward.
If you invite them and they don't, in fact, why must
wait, but they are not. Wait. They may not necessarily be suspects. They could just be witnesses. You just want to ask them what they know.
No, there is a report. This investigation is born from a report.
The
report was made. No. I don't mean a document report. I mean a report. When someone reports something to the police, the NDC leadership reported to the IGP a crime. Okay. The IGP started an investigation based on that report. The report was that our people were shot at, our MP was slapped. So, based on that report, who are the suspects?
I see where you're going, but I'm not sure they are inviting them in as suspects.
That's also a problem. Because if I come and tell you that this man slapped me, and you are writing letters,
yesterday, I felt the IGP was a bit restrained in its responses.
Very diplomatic.
I would diplomatically call it. All right.
For a man in his position, I loved everything about him yesterday. I thought he was highly diplomatic, but he still said the obvious things, confirmed the obvious things that we know is going on. So, okay, there's an alert that has come through from NADMO. Just let's share the fact that the average temperature across the country, particularly today, is expected to be the highest for the week, rising from, they say, approximately 39 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. Therefore, the risk of heat-related illness is most likely. It's coming from NADMO. So they've asked us to do a few things. One, drink plenty of fluids, that is water, cool water and juices. Avoid caffeine and alcohol. It's a holiday. Avoid caffeine, Kojo Jackson. And those of you holidaying, avoid alcohol. Avoid tight clothing, ladies. And then wear light clothing, everybody.
The holiday for Roland.
So this important notification is coming from NADMO. Let's all respect it. We're getting it means that it's going to be extremely hot today. So whatever you do, have a lot of water around you. We've got Sedi on standby, but Komla Adum in our Ghana Man series has done one on King Gakomi.
Wow,
we'll bring that to us a bit later.
I love that.
Do you know why it's called Komi? You don't, Kojo?
No.
Because the first person to invent it was called
a lie.
Richard Comey.
Really?
Oh no, please! I don't know. I don't know why it's called. I don't know why it's called Comey.
Like that was so convincing.
Yeah.
I wanted to believe
you. Nearly got double.
Okay, so
that's what they call a double fact.
We've been doubled, people. So we'll bring that feature to you a bit later on this morning.